Okay, what it do, boo? What it do? Yes, I know I'm looking at the camera, making sure you all can see me here in my mirror. I'm outside, as you can see, because my clothesline is there, deck is there, trees behind me. You hear the dog in the background, that part. But she is outside because she's about to take these twists out of her hair, and I can decipher the difference between my hair, which is brown, and the braid hair, which is black. If you can see that, can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? Can you see the difference? I don't know if you can see the difference. I really don't know. I'll try to zoom the camera in when I edit. I mean, not the camera, the footage. I'll try to zoom in the footage while I'm editing. So that's one of the reasons why I'm sitting outside. And then I came out here and I was like, oh my gosh, look at all of this beautiful gray hair. Such a blessing. Such a blessing. You hear me? Even though I was born with gray hair, but to see gray that is coming in, and that's just out of growth, age, maturing. Yeah, because a lot of people don't live to see this. They really don't, and I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. However, this right here, the gray edges, y'all, I have done my best to try to get used to it and to live with it. I just can't right now. I cannot. So I think I'm going to cover my edges, but I'm going to leave the middle part alone. I'm just going to leave it alone. I really am. I also got to shave because she got a little gray. She got a little gray beard right there. So she need to get that. And the lips are moisturized because it's so hot in that house, which is another reason why I am sitting outside in this. Let's see what the temperature is right now, because it was 38 degrees when I came out here. It is still 38 degrees. Can you see that? I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's 38 degrees. Sun is out. I'm enjoying it. Versus the almost 80 degrees that it is in the house, because y'all internet dad swear he's an Eskimo, freezing, because he has on a hoodie, a beanie, shall I say. He has on a beanie that's lined, because we got that beanie from New York, and he has a heated blanket pulled up to his neck. The furnace is on and a space heater is on, but he's freezing. Light bill is like $100 and some odd a month. Gas bill this month, $235. How much was it last month? $233. That part. So I have on all this moisturization on my lips because I'm dehydrated, regardless of how much water I drink, because of the fact that y'all internet dad has the house so hot, and I sleep with my window open as well. But anyway, we're not gonna get on all of that. I have all of my tools here. I'm sitting outside also because I can decipher the difference between my hair and the braid hair while I'm outside, and it'll keep me from cutting my hair. Because see, y'all can't see it, but I can see right there that there's some brown hair. So I'm going to go down a little bit farther, and I'm going to cut right there. See if it gives me what I need to cut it. I mean to unravel and take the stuff out of my head. So yeah, y'all let me know, because I'm not going to immediately dye my hair, but y'all let me know down in the description box if I should dye my edges or leave them alone, or if I should dye all of it together, even though I don't want to dye this at all, as so much gray has grown in over this past month. Yeah, that part. And thank you to all of my new subscribers that have come to the channel. I appreciate your support. Some of you have seen me commenting on Dante London's channel, and you decided to come over from there. So I appreciate the support and the love. I pray that what you see over here is something that you can either, one, resonate with, or two, that you find entertaining and enjoyable, or even informative. So yeah, But we're going to go ahead and get this done because I know while I'm out here working in this sun, the camera is not going to stay on for too long. So we're going to get a couple of pieces done. We're going to get a fraction of the braids taken out, and then I'll come back and let you all see what it looks like. Why am I starting with the front? Don't ask me. Because I usually start from the back. And this crow behind me is like, bruh. So, yeah, we're going to get this together. It's definitely going to take me some time based on how it's twisted. And I don't want to damage my own hair. So, yeah, let me do this. And when I get a fraction of it taken down, she'll come back. Okay? Okay. Okay, a few days later. Oh, I still need to get my phone. Hold on. All right, she's picked up the phone. It is 2:32 p.m. Monday, February 24th. I had to come back a couple of days later, but I have washed my hair, and I'm now about to just put it in my little goddess braids, because what I want to do later on is do a hot oil treatment. So I think I'm just going to put them in the goddess braids and let that be it. And I sprayed some water on it because my hair tends to dry out really quick when I just leave it out, and that's what I did. So I don't want to put any product on it without it being wet. Now we're gonna make this as quick as possible because I don't want to hold you all here any longer than I absolutely need to and or already have. You get what I'm saying? And I have another spray bottle. I have one of those them little spray bottles. It's in the closet. I just haven't used it. I'm on that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
As I always say, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
I'm on that boat. That part. But so the story time or the occurrence of what I'm about to share with you has been building, as my cousin Cliff said, because I shared this with him as well. He said, oh, that's been building for some time because he been waiting to say that to you. So, those of you that know and have been following me for a long time, and you saw when we moved in this house, you know that we've been living in this house for going on 6 years now, because we moved in summer of 2019. And the neighbor next door moved in January of 2021. Thinking as I'm going, because I want to make sure my facts are correct. So when he moved over there, and I'm using the extreme hair gel to lay my hair down. So he and his girlfriend, I should have double checked this part before I put this on here, because I don't want my part to be crooked. You know what I mean? You don't want the crooked parts. So let me do that. Which means I got to take this loose because I didn't make sure that the part was straight. But anywho, so the neighbor moved next door in January 2021. He and his girlfriend at the time. And I started noticing things about them. Like they would argue because every time I went outside, he was outside. He just so happened to have to come outside and sit on the front porch, or he just so happened to want to come outside and do yard work or work on his car, whatever the case may have been. And she'd say something to him about it. Every time that woman is outside, you outside. He was like, you're just reading into it the wrong way. Blah, 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 blah. Long story short, they had arguments all the time. It would be nights my daughter would tell me that she heard them arguing. She woke them up. They woke her up, blah, 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 this and that. And then one day, we woke up and she was moving. We was like, ooh, okay. We thought they were all moving. So we was like, good, because, bruh, we sick and tired of all the craziness over there. So, come to find out, like I said, it was just her that was moving. And time goes by. I was outside talking with my neighbor next door, George and Samantha. And Robert, that's what I'm going to call him. No, the names that are being said are not their actual names. So Robert was out there at the same time as George and Samantha were outside. But I was mostly just talking to Samantha. And Robert, because I said, okay, Samantha, I'll see you later. Bye, George. Talk to you later. And Robert says, oh, you didn't tell me bye. And I was like, oh, bye. He says, you don't want to know my name? Like, I've been living over here a year, and I don't even know your name, and you don't know mine. And I was like, okay, and that's whose problem? Because it's not mine. It's not my problem. So he said, well, my name is Robert. And I was like, oh, okay, well, my name is Marley, da-da-da, this and that. It's nice to meet you, and welcome to the neighborhood, because, like I said, he's only been over there a year, so he was still fairly new. And then from there, I just went on in the house, because I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. Because I had said to Samantha and them that I had to go in the house, and I needed to go in the house to take care of Daddy. And black castor oil. And that's when Robert was like, oh, you take care of your dad? I was like, no, he said, oh, you live with your dad? And I said, no, my dad lives with me. So, yeah. So then I, like I said, time went by. Ooh, that Jamaican castor oil, child. Ooh. Time went by, and let's see, the same pattern was occurring that was happening when the girlfriend was living over there. Every time I was outside, he seemed to magically appear outside. If I was mowing my lawn and he happened to come home from wherever he was coming from, he'd quickly run over to where I was, like to my yard, and he'd say something like, don't you step in those holes, be careful out there, you know what you're doing, blah, 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 this and that. And I was just like, dude, really? So, I would do my best to ignore him by keeping the lawnmower running. That didn't work. He would just continue to talk. So I'd stop my lawnmower and just chat with him and be praying at the same time, Lord, please let this hurry up and be over. Please let this hurry up and be over. And so, after about 15 minutes, and it always seems to be like 15 minutes, he would, he'd go on about his business. Okay, well, it's nice talking to you. I just want to be a nice neighbor, blah, 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 this and that. Okay. And then I'm just going to fast forward to 2024 spring. I'm sitting outside working. And because, like I said, in between that, there have been more times where he'd say things like, oh, I'm just doing this because I'm a nice neighbor. I'm just nothing behind it. And I would constantly say, even though if you got to say something more than once, like, oh, I'm not trying to hit on you. I'm not, this is just from a neighborly gesture or whatever. This is just from a neighborly standpoint. You got to keep saying that. To me, that lets me know that it's more than what you're saying it is. How about that? Okay, so we fast forward to May of 2024. And I'm sitting outside on the front porch because I work remotely and I can work wherever I choose to work in the house. Like, I can station myself wherever I choose to station myself for the day, or I can take my job with me if I'm going out of town. So this particular day, I just wanted to sit outside because I needed some fresh air. And I think it was a Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So as I'm out there working, I think we had gotten to the afternoon by that day because it was definitely after lunch. And I see this white truck pull up next door. And I immediately think that it's one of the neighbor's workers because he has his own carpentry business. So I thought maybe one of the guys was coming over to load the van because it was a white unmarked van. I may have said truck, but I meant to say white unmarked van. And so, I didn't think anything of it, and I kept doing what I was doing as far as my work goes. So I see him, meaning the guy in the white van, go up the stairs, knock on the door. He turns around, he looks as if he's trying to make sure he's at the right location because, when there's no vehicle over there, you can't really tell if someone lives there or not, even though there's furniture on the porch. So I guess that's null and void, huh? But anyway, so he's looking around as if he's trying to make sure he's he's at the right place. And next thing I know, the guy starts walking towards my house. And as he's walking towards my house, I see that he has flowers in his hands. And at that point, I'm like, oh, who's getting flowers? Then I said, oh, wait, maybe they're for Aisha. Because I thought maybe, the guy that she was dating at the time was wanting to, try to get back with her because I think they had broken up by then. But as the florist approaches my porch, he says, is there a Marley here? And I said, yeah, that's me. He says, oh, these are for you. And I was like, what? So anyway, I'll find a picture of the flowers and post them here. They were for me from the neighbor. And they were yellow and white. And, everybody knows yellow and white flowers mean, friendship. So he was just sending them because he was like, thank you for being the neighbor that you are, blah, 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 this and that, because as I said, I'm fast forwarding. There were times over the course of the years that he talked to me about his son. And, I just said, okay, well, I'll pray for you, blah, 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 this and that. And then when he would see me again, he'd say something about, oh my gosh, thank you for praying and thank you for being who you are, with your belief in God and so forth like that. And your belief in prayer. The prayer definitely worked. My son is this, that, boot, boot, boot. Okay. So I just left it at that. I shared the flowers, like the fact that I received the flowers with someone that's special to me. I was like, oh my gosh, look what just happened, blah, blah, blah. And even he was like, he said that it was nice, but then he was like, does he like you? And I was like, I think he does, but I'm not going to make that assumption. So we're going to fast forward to December. Because definitely over time, because of the neighborhood, we have like a neighborhood watch, neighborhood email, stuff like that. They have a Facebook page too, but I don't want to be a part of it. So anyway, keep in touch with that. Anytime he go out of town, hey, can you watch the house for me? I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks, whatever, blah, 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 boot, boot. So Thanksgiving came. Happy Thanksgiving. What you doing? Yada, yada, yada. We're just chilling at the house. His family went to the mountains, all that kind of stuff. Neighbors up the street, they, of course, also, chimed in, happy holidays, blah, blah, this and that. Left it at that. Just doing the neighborly thing. So then come Christmas. And at that point, he chimes in and sends me a message, and I will screenshot these messages and share them with you. Okay. My daughter just sent me a text message. But they would have sent me an email. Okay, whatever. So he sends me a message in December asking about, no, it started out with me saying, hey, Robert, just chiming in to say that my daughter said she saw you. My daughter said you blew her horn. My daughter said you blew your horn at her today to say hi, and I'm just reaching back out to say hi as well. And then he sends me a text message back saying something to the effect of, "You're so silly," or "You're so crazy," or something like that. And I responded back. I'm looking for the messages as I'm talking to you all. And I responded back like, "Why I gotta be crazy," or something to the effect. And then from there, he sent a message saying something about, "Look at what I made. It reminds me of," what did he say? "It reminds me of Versace." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, that's cool." I said, "But you do know Versace, the brand, the designer chose Medusa as his let's see, where is it? Symbol of the particular brand." And he says, "No, I wasn't. Maybe I did in a past life. Very authentic then." And then that's when he asked, "Would you like to exchange gifts this year?" So let me come over here and show you all this as I'm sharing it. So he says, "Would you like to exchange gifts this year?" And he said, "But it would be my honor to take you out for dinner. You should know that I would not expect anything in return for five, saying thank you for being a friend." Don't know why the for five in there, but you know how autocorrect can be sometimes. So I says, "After paying for the tooth surgery, my budget for the month is shot. Once I reach my monthly spending budget, I don't spend anymore until the next month. It's a great way to keep from going into debt." And so that's when I respond back to him saying the thing about being friendly and whatever. And I said, "You're welcome. It's not a problem being friendly. I treat people with the respect I expect from them in return. And I get a lot of that." I meant to say I got a lot of that love when celebrating my birthday this month. So then he responds back, "Okay, that's perfect. I've got a lot of bad habits." Well, not really a lot, but to you, yes, a lot. "Well, happy birthday. Just let me know what you want to be popping. I got you." So then he says, "I'm going to tell you a secret if that's okay. But I don't want you to look at me bad. No, I don't want you to look at me in a bad way. Let's just say I'm here for you." Before I could even type to him, if it's something that I'm going to look at you bad about, do not send it. Don't say it. Don't type it. Just don't do it. Because sometimes it's best to keep things to yourself. I couldn't even type it out fast enough. Couldn't type it out fast enough. And this is what he sent. I'm just going to give y'all time. If your kids are watching this with you, go ahead and send them out of the room. Pause the video while they're going out of the room. But better yet, you don't even have to pause the video. So what I'll say is, while the kids are leaving the room, I stick to a certain budget every single month. And when I go over that budget, or when I reach that budget, because I don't like going over, when I reach that budget, I do like Anthony O'Neill. I don't spend any more money. It doesn't mean I don't have the money or I don't have any more money. I just do not spend over my budget. And that just keeps me where I need to be, just in case something pops off and I need to spend a little extra money in another month. So yeah, that part. Now, your kids out of the room? All right, so let's finish. Here is what he said. So then he says, "And I would love to get you to drop them panties." What? For real though? LOL. "I'm trying to get you to laugh out loud and make your mouth drop." So then he responds back, "I can't believe I just text you that." For real though? Really? Y'all, I sat there in shock. I was just like, to the point of tears, because I was just that shocked. Like, why would you say that to me? Why would you send that to me? What on God's green, blue, white, brown, purple, what on God's earth would make you think that it is okay to send me something like that? I have never given you any indication, not even an inkling of an indication, that you could send something to me like that. So I responded with this. That's not a laughable statement. And it's a disrespectful thing to say, text, or email. A great way to F up a relationship. That's your second time crossing the line with me. It will not be tolerated. I'm a woman of God and would never give my body to a man in a sinful manner, nor do I allow men who are supposed to be my friends speak to or talk to me in such a manner. Enjoy your weekend. And I left it at that. Had not heard anything else from him. Like, why? 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 And Mel Bestie, if you're watching this, it's the guy that was asking me who you were when we were sitting on the front porch. When you and I were sitting on the front porch. When you came by to visit. It's him. So, after reading this and sitting there in shock, I showed it to my daughter. She was like, what? He said, what? Then I called someone that's near and dear to me and I shared it with him. And he says, oh no, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Like, you need your gun. I don't like that you're that close to him or that he has that proximity to you. And I said, he's crazy, but I don't think he's that damn crazy. It's just, yeah, I don't, why would you say that? So I haven't said anything else to him. Then on Tuesday, January 7th, he wrote this. Hey, do you know what's going on with that phone cable? I know with the bad weather coming in, it's probably going to block my driveway. No, Happy New Year. No, hey, I'm sorry about what happened back in December. No, how you doing? No, hey, can we talk about what happened in December? Just, do you know what's going on with that phone cable? First and foremost, after not having apologized or even attempted to try to apologize or anything of the sort, how dare you just send me a text message asking about a phone cable that had absolutely nothing to do with your driveway. That cable was nowhere in his yard. It was in my yard, as you all saw. My yard, connected to my house, affecting nobody's driveway but mine. No one could come over. No one could go out. So why are you emailing me? I mean, why are you texting me? Really? Y'all, I'm just, I am dumbfounded as to why he thinks and or thought that it was okay for him to send me a message like that. Because I have never given him the impression that he could send me such a message. Like, dude, what? Now, he is a man of Caucasus descent, and he loves women of African descent. That's all I've ever seen him date. And he did split the block with the toxic girlfriend that moved in with him when they first moved in the house. He spent the block with her about 2 weeks after the text, the drop the panties thing. Yeah. I was like, dude. So needless to say, I don't conversate with that neighbor anymore. And I've let my other neighbors know, like, I don't conversate with him. He disrespected me. And yeah, that part. That part. Let me know what y'all think down below in the... Oh, I'm sure some of y'all are going to ask me, how did he cross me before? The way he crossed me before was... Okay, so I do... or used to, don't do them anymore. He would come over and ask me to do his POs for his carpentry contracts. So I create the POs for him, and he paid me $25 per PO. So if he brings over 4 POs that he wants me to create, that's $100 right there off the bat. So one day I needed for him to assist me with my lawnmower because my neighbor that normally would help me wasn't home. And I said, if I need to pay you, I'll pay you to, fix whatever it is that needs to be fixed on the lawnmower. And he hauls off and said, yeah, you're going to have to pay me up front, And I said, excuse you? I said, do I make you pay me up front when I do your POs for you? So who the hell? I'm sorry. Because when people say off the wall stuff to me, I do have a little 4-letter words that come out. So I was like, who the heck do you think I am? You want me to trust that you're going to pay me for my work that I do for you. Why can't, before. So I'm doing this work for you before you've paid me. And you want me to trust that you're going to pay me for the work that I've done for you. Why can't you give me that same respect? Why can't you trust that I'm going to pay you after you do the work? Because I don't know anybody who pays somebody for something before it's done. I mean, they might give a deposit, but they're not going to pay a full amount before it's done. So I told him, I said, you know what? That's okay. I'll go upstairs and I'll look at YouTube and I'll figure out how to do it. You can stay over there where you are. And that was where I was like, you've already crossed me once before, because don't do that. Just don't. And that's what I did. I went upstairs, researched it on YouTube, and I figured out how to get it to work. It worked for a little bit, and then I eventually just had to buy a new lawnmower because the screws and everything just kept falling out. So that part. But yeah, leave me your comments down below. I know y'all want to chat about this, but just leave it down below and let me know what's up. Sorry this chat is so long, but your girl had to get it out. And yeah, I'm glad that I have that. I'm going to save this just in case something else pops off, and I will have my evidence here. But baby, that part.